Welcome back, y'all. How's everyone doing? How's everyone feeling? We just got through all the holidays. Thank God. I was by far over it. Actually, it was pretty good, the holidays. I'm being dramatic. New Year, new me. I'm not going to complain anymore.
Yeah, okay.
But before we even get started into this episode, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you don't miss out on any episodes. We are coming to an end very, very soon for this season. So there's plenty of episodes to catch up on. It's over a year's worth of episodes. So rewatch them, do what you got to do while we take this little hiatus before the season's done. Well, after the season's done. Mm-hmm. And if you are listening to us on Apple or any podcast streaming sites, give us a review.
4 seasons to catch up on.
Yes.
The audio part.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the audio part. Yeah, because...
Isn't this season 4? So you have five seasons.
No, season 1 was audio.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the audio people have 5 seasons. The visuals have...
We're on our 4th season.
Okay.
They have 4 seasons to catch up on audio-wise, but visual, they only have 3 seasons. Season 2, 3, and 4.
I can't wait to clip it. It was all a lie.
Okay.
She lied, guys.
Okay. I can't wait. And what if I didn't lie? What clip we have for that?
I'm going to be like,
I told y'all niggas. Y'all niggas.
Y'all thought I was playing, but I told y'all niggas.
Oh my God, I can't. As I was saying, for the audio listeners, please rate us. Let us know how we're doing. And yeah. All right. With that out of the way, we are here to discuss what? I'm about to say
rich aunties.
Ritz crackers.
Rich aunties.
Rich
aunties. R-I-C.
I sound like a fucking record. Yo, I hate myself. Rich. What is wrong with me? Rich auntie vibes. And also, this new year, I'm going to be reading a lot more because my dyslexia got me in a chokehold and I don't want it anymore. Okay, rich auntie vibes. So, as everyone may or may not know, we are aunts of several nieces and nephews.
Ooh, Lord.
And we are without children.
And I'm also a great aunt. Are you a great aunt?
I'm a great aunt too.
Lord Jesus.
We are the best young old aunties you can come across, to be fair. Mm-hmm. We're the cool aunt. We're the aunt that all of our nieces and nephews want to be. I'm lying. My nieces probably hate me. But yeah. So I know for me, I became an aunt at 8 years old. How old were you when you became an aunt?
I was 3. I didn't know I was an aunt.
Yeah, and that's where it gets a little tricky for us because we were so young when we became aunts that were like...
That's because
we
have older siblings.
The role of like being an aunt? Yeah, we have older siblings. My sister was 15 when I was born. So she was literally my mom. Mm. She took care of us. She fed us. She brought us to school. She took us to daycare. She was our mom. She taught us how to read. That's everything. My mom just worked at that point. She's like, I raised 2 kids. Now my kids can raise my kids. So there's that. How was your relationship with your sister?
Well, all my 4 siblings, when I was born, they were still in Haiti. They didn't come until like 94, 95. So by then I'm already 5 years old, 6 years old. Wasn't accustomed to them just yet. And I don't think at that age I had the grasp of knowing that I had brothers and sisters. But mind you, my parents I've been going to Haiti since I was 3. So they knew me, they met me. But at that age, I don't have no sense of memory prior to 5 years old. Yep. So I don't remember seeing them with the exception of having pictures, a photo album when my mother took me. I think I was like 3 or 4 at the time. Took me to Haiti. I was around my siblings. So they always knew of me. I just wasn't aware of them. But once my siblings got to the States, my sister was the one that pretty much like... she would go to school in the morning and then in the afternoon she would be the one that whipped something up for me and my niece to eat, make sure our hair is done for school the next day or whatever. Sometimes she would be the one getting us up ready in the morning if both my parents were at work. But prior to my siblings, my parents would alternate their schedule. Like my mom would be here in the mornings to get me ready for school, and then in the afternoon my father would be either picking me up or he'll come home in the afternoon. So they would alternate their schedules up until like even high school. Their schedules was like that for me. But we became close, but I was viewed as the annoying little sister because the age gap. Yeah. Like me and my
they did not want to hang out with you.
Nope, and that's fine. My youngest brother out of the 3 brothers, I follow him, and me and him are 9 years apart.
Oh, so that's a decent. I was thinking like 15 and older. Like that.
Like between me and my sister, of course. Yeah. Like she's probably old enough to be my mother.
Oh yeah, my sister's 100% could be my mom.
Yes, so that's why he was like, "Wait, you have a niece?" I'm like, "Well, me and my oldest niece,
we're like sisters."
Yeah, I thought we were cousins growing up. Like, I used to tell, we literally used to tell people, "Oh yeah, we're cousins." And then I don't know at what age. I think it was like as a teenager, I found out she was my niece. Yeah, but I didn't. I'm a teenager. What concept am I supposed to know? Like, this is what aunties do. I'm a teenager. Like, whatever.
Yeah. How many nieces and nephews do you have?
Shit. Get back to me on that.
Okay, well, for me, I became an aunt at 8, as I mentioned earlier. My first niece, I legitimately raised. Like, I don't know what came over me. I don't know if it was like everyone telling me like, "Oh, you're an aunt now," and blah blah blah. So I used to make her bottles. I used to feed her. I used to put her to bed. I used to change her diapers. And then as they got older and started school, I was bringing them to I would bring the second to her bus stop, go to school, pick them up after school, help them with their homework. I pretty much took the role that my sister took when I was born. So my first 3 nieces benefited from that relationship. Like I was more of like their disciplinary mommy figure, but not really their mom. I remember recently my second niece told me when I used to pick her up from the bus stop and I would take her to like the little convenience store in the corner and they're like, "Oh, is this your daughter?" And I'd be like, "No, that's not my kid." And then my niece be looking at me like, "But I want you to be my mom." Like she legitimately just like, "Why are you telling everybody I'm not your kid?" She's like, she didn't tell me that verbally, but she told me as a recent, like, "I really wanted you to tell people I was your daughter." Like, what are you doing? So I have my older sister has 3 kids. My older brother has 3 kids. And as of recently in the last year, from January 21 to now March 23. What am I saying? January of 22 to March 23, I have 3 new nieces and nephew. And I'm also a great aunt. So in total, by March 23, I will have 9 nieces. Well, excuse me. 8 nieces. This is too many. 8 nieces and 1 nephew. My final first official nephew. But I also have a great nephew. So technically I have 2 nephews and 8 nieces.
Okay, I finally counted.
So she was doing math so hard right now. Yeah.
No, literally, first I was counting one by their names, but then I was like, wait, let me compact them by each sibling. How many siblings? Exactly so I have a total of 11 nieces and nephews altogether. I ain't got time to separate them. 11 nieces and nephews altogether. And I know for a fact, none of my siblings are going to have any more kids, so it will stay at 11 nieces and nephews. Now, my oldest niece, the firstborn niece, she has 2 kids. So I have 2 great nephews. And then it's also cool because my aunt, who's already an aunt, which is already a great aunt. So my aunt is already me and my sister's aunt. Now she's my niece's great aunt. And then her having those 2 boys, now she's great aunt. Kind of dope when you think about the levels of family.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
That's actually, I used to hate that my mom was much older and then I had older siblings because I'm just like, oh, my friend's mom is like the age of my sister, like whatever. But now that I think about it, like, we get to live generations together for a long time.
For a good,
for
I used to think
good
the same
chunk
way
of
too.
time.
Because some of my friends, I know their parents are like in their 50s now. And I'm like, let's put 71.
I only experienced my mom during menopause. Like, what? She had me at 42 and then 2 more up until she was 46. Her last kid was she was 46 years old. Then she hit menopause and we were unable to understand and talk. And so we just knew the angry mom. That's why I'm like, yo, my mom was angry a lot of the time.
Maybe that's why me and my mom bumped heads. Like, she was in her late 40s. Like, I'll say 49 hitting 50. That's when I was more in my teenage years. I was like 17, 18, and we were bumping heads a lot.
Oh, yeah. So you were a teenager and she was going through menopause. Like, both of your bodies were going through changes.
Well, at this rate, that's gonna be the same situation for me. Jesus.
Jesus, take it the wheel. Take
Lord.
it the wheel.
The youngest niece, the youngest niece, no one else has kids, is 4, I think? Or is she gonna be 4? Wait, she was born in... She's 4, she'll be 5. I had to count. There's too many. So she's 4 now. So she's the youngest out of all the nieces and nephews. The oldest is 33, the youngest is 4. Huge age span. All of them I pretty much kind of babysat and semi-raised, with the exception of my oldest niece and nephew. He is, I believe, 28, 29 now, and my niece is 33. So I never held them as babies because, one, they were born in Haiti, and 2, I was a child when they were born.
Yeah.
But all the other ones that came after that, I pretty much babysat them, changed their diapers, had them all day. They spent the night over my house. I fed them.
You were free daycare.
Pretty much.
Same for me.
And so that's why I told everybody, the ones who are waiting for me to have children, be prepared to babysit. Because I babysat all y'all kids.
I have not pressured you once because Lord knows.
Oh, no, I know.
My sister's already plotting to drop baskets off at the front door for my fucking nieces and nephews.
No, I'm like, with the exception of a few friends, no, you never pressured me about kids. My closest friends, they never pressured. They'll talk shit, but
bro,
not
first
pressure.
off, at your party, we did a toast. The recent one.
Oh.
We did a toast and it was like, we wish baby upon you or something.
Who said that?
Everybody said it at the freaking toast at the very end of the night.
Girl,
you were drunk.
Tipsy.
Yeah, you were drunk.
I said, who said that?
Who said that? Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, but they're not in the sense like every single day we talk.
Yeah, no, they are not. I'm sure it was just
not like my family. My family though, they better be prepared.
They're having prayer circles.
Girl, I'm pretty sure night prayer services and Sunday service.
Bible studies really just putting prayers over fucking her uterus.
Girl, so yeah, I pretty much babysat all of them, and my great nephew, as well. So it was kind of cool. Like, I'm not used to saying great aunt, so I just said, "Oh, that's my nephew." Even though I know he's my great nephew, I'd be like, "No,
thankfully,
that's my
nephew." My one and only great nephew is also my godson. So I just say my godson.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, one of my nephews
is your godson.
Is my godson, as well. None of them call me auntie, and I don't really care.
Yeah,
I'm not big on that. I know some people who are big on like, oh no, my nieces and nephews will call me auntie. Da, da, da. Like, they'll tell people like, oh, that's my aunt. Like, oh, that's auntie. They don't say my government. But when it's just us, it's
bro. So I'm sure this happens to you a lot too. But when I went out recently with my nieces, it was like a Greek event, and my best friend is in a Greek, and he was like, "Oh, we're having an after party at this house. You guys should stop by." And I was like, "It was a day of your party."
Oh yeah.
So I was like, I have somewhere else to be, but my nieces can definitely go. They're grown. They're between the ages of 27 and freaking 22, and I was like, they can fucking go on their own. So I was like, just make sure you take care of them. Like, I don't want them, compromised in any way. My best friend, he got my back. So he calls me, and I'm like, God, this motherfucker. And he's like, I'm picking you up so you can come with me. I was like, no, I'm tired. And I just got home from your party. Like, I just got home. He's like, well, I see a light on, so just come outside. And I was just like, oh my God. So we ended up going, and I meet them. I'm talking to them. And then, people are coming up and saying, hi, my name is so-and-so, like, introducing whatever. I was like, oh, these are my nieces. And the minute I said that, everyone was like, never mind. Because, again, they look like they're in their 20s, but when you put niece in front of that, and you see
like,
me,
oh, they're probably 16.
They're probably babies. So my best friend came up to me. He's like, stop telling everybody those your fucking nieces. And I was like, what? He's like, first off, it makes them look like they're underage and they're drinking. And secondly, it makes you look old as fuck. Like, stop. So I had to tell him that was my cousins. Because, like, when you see them, you think, okay, they're in their 20s, like early 20s. And then you see me, you're like, oh, okay, I get like in your 30s. But you never understand, like, that's too close of a gap. Like, that's too close of an age difference for them to be niece and auntie. So,
I mean, it's 2022. People should know by now, like,
especially with everybody having babies so young.
though, yeah, especially when people having kids very young. That sometimes you have a niece or nephew that's older than the aunt. I'm like, how you the niece or nephew was born before the auntie was born? Like,
bruh, how about
what
having
you
an
doing?
aunt who's like younger than your sisters?
Well, so far right now, the immediate family that I know of, the aunts, uncles, whoever, they're in their respective age group and generation they need to be in. They're in that level, like, oh, they're older than the second and third generation or maybe fourth generation. But no niece or nephew is actually older than an aunt or uncle. Everyone, the aunts and uncles are pretty much older. Now,
Are you saying like that is a fact? Or like that's in your family?
In my family.
Oh, I was about to say.
No. I'm talking about for my family.
Yeah.
Like the aunts and uncles, they're in their respective ages. The nieces, the nephews, they're younger. It's just the age gap between like my siblings having their kids and me being the last one. There's not much of a difference. Like pretty much with the exception of the oldest niece and nephew and the nephew that I'm his godmother. The rest of them, I am old enough to be their mother if I had kids young, like as a teenager.
Did you ever discipline your nieces and nephews?
Not all of them.
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
Like obviously not your firstborn niece, because that'd be weird as fuck.
And the firstborn nephew, no. Because they were too close in age, and I was a kid when they were born. Yeah. But the rest of them, to an extent, like, you know, taking something from them, because one, they were damaging stuff, like they weren't supposed to touch or whatever, but, did I hit them only once or twice for, not all of them. Like, the last two, the youngest two, never had to hit them. He was like, no, don't do that, and they'll listen. But only one or two, I give him a quick, swift pop on his hand. Like, you're not supposed to do that, because I already told him twice. And he was shocked, like, oh, shit, she hit me. But he didn't cry. He was
just like, oh, she's serious.
Yeah, like, she's dead serious. So, I mean, I don't tell people how to discipline their kids. People might say, oh, that's abuse. A pop here and there, for me, in my personal opinion, is not abuse. It's just the warning, because I gave you the verbal warning. It's the physical warning, because it's like, you're not my kid, and if something happens, they're gonna look at me like, well, what was happening? So I need to nip it in the butt now, so they don't say, oh, I left my child in your care, because that's my family member, but that's also not my child.
Right.
But I know they trust me enough to watch them and discipline them if need be.
Yeah, I know. I've always had permission to discipline, and so in my head, I didn't know how to use my authority to get the reaction I needed from them. So I just mimicked what my mother and my sister used to how they used to discipline me,
which is beat your ass,
beat your motherfucking ass. And I think it helped a little bit, but then I slowly realized each niece is different and need to be addressed with discipline differently. And now that I think back on it, I was like, oh my God, I was so angry when I used to discipline them. Like, and it's just so cringy. Like, I would never. But I remember my sister having a hard time getting the youngest to, like, listen to her to do something. Like, so she says, wash the dishes right now. The youngest, like, I'll get to it when I get to it. And my sister and I are the same. Like, if I tell you to do something, it's then, now, and, like, you're not doing anything important that requires you to do it after the fact I tell you. So I was living upstairs at one point, and my sister proceeds to call me, and all you hear is like a lot of ruckus in the background, as if she like dropped her phone and she's yelling. So I was like, what the fuck? Maybe she butt dialed me. I don't know. So then she calls me back. She's like, come get your niece, because she probably got a black eye. And I was like, oh, okay. So I come downstairs, and you know, my niece is visibly upset washing dishes, and my sister goes, I told her to do something, and she said, I'll get to it when I get to it. And my sister's like, no, I need you to do it now. And my niece was, you know, going back and forth with her. And my sister got fed up, and she's like, I don't even have time for this.
Is this the spicy one?
The little one, yeah, the little spicy one. Oh, not Lexi.
Oh, I thought it was her. Me
and Lex would have been fighting. No, the youngest one. So anyways, so my sister goes, I was telling her to do something, she didn't want to do it, cool. But I was too exhausted to go back and forth with her, so I was like, I call you and come have you deal with her, right? Which, when I come down, something's gonna go off. Like, and typically they never challenge me. If I say do something, they'll like huff and puff, but they're huffing and puffing and walking. She's like, so as I proceeded to call you, she goes, oh, I thought you were the mother. Why do you need reinforcement? And she's like, Jessica, I lost my shit. I lost my shit. And this was, she's like 16 maybe. And I was like, she said, what to you? And I was like, you know, I'm super protective of my sister because she was my mom at one point. So, like, you're not about to disrespect my mom. And that's in my head. That's how I process my sister. She wants to have a sister-sister relationship, but I see her as a mom. So, like, it's hard. But when I'm super protective of her, so if anybody disrespects her, and that's including her kids, I'm ready to go for bat. So I was like, she said, what to you? So I run into the kitchen, and she's already upset. Her mom already popped her. Like, what more do you want from me, Jessica? So I went up to her. I was like, them dishes better be done in 10 minutes, or I'm coming the fuck down here. Like, I went,
time frame.
Right? And I'm, like, being super aggressive, and my niece is just looking at me like, I'm already defeated. Why must you threaten me? And then I go upstairs, and I come back down. The dishes were washed, and she was in bed sleeping. Yeah. So I used to be the disciplinarian, but then I just got out of that because I was just like, if I want to have a real relationship with my nieces, I need to stop acting like I can fight them any and every which way, or like use fair tactics to get a response from them that I want. So yeah, but it stopped with them. Like the first 3 kids, it stopped with them, and then now I'm just the auntie that lets you do whatever the fuck you want. You can come to me for anything. You can tell me any deep, dark secrets. I'm going to support you in any capacity that I can. Whenever they have creative ideas, they call me. Whenever they have a problem they need to solve, they call me. Whenever they just need to decompress, they call me. And that's the relationship I want to continue to have with them. I don't want to be the disciplinarian. I'm not doing that. Do what you got to do. You old enough. Do your thing.
Your mama can do that.
Yeah, that's your mama business, not mine.
I only do the disciplinary if obviously they're under my care. Small children, of course. I don't like.
So you beat little kids?
I don't beat them. Like now it's more. I'm more stern. Like
yeah, you know, it's your tone.
It's the tone that you use and how you look at them, or whatever, to like really get a reaction out of them. Like, but I don't want them to fear me. I just want them to know, like, don't come over here with the fuck shit. You can have fun, do whatever, but don't come over here with the fuck shit. Like when my nieces and nephews chill with me, they're chilling. When we know kids act real different with their parents. They act a fucking fool. But like even Wilson now, he's like, oh, I'm gonna be the fun parent and you're gonna be the mean one. I'm like, no, I'm not. No, but when your kids start fucking tearing shit up, you're on your own.
Embarrassing you outside.
You're on your own. You're on your own. Like for me, I mean, I don't know, like I never was scared of my mother. I used to be like, whatever, like attitude. With my dad, he didn't have to say much. It's just the look, like.
I was so confused. Cause, I
always had an attitude with my mother because she'd be the one like, oh, wait till your dad get. I'm like, well, what could you handle it?
You sound like my niece, and that's why she got fucked up. I thought you were the mama.
I mean, I still get my ass beat. Like, imagine getting your ass beat with your mother and then get another one.
I seen a video. Home. It says when you think everyone had a traumatic childhood with you, and then you realize it was just you. So the girl was like, oh my god. She's like, my mom was so angry at me because I snuck out. She's like, yeah, and then she locked you in the basement and beat you up and then left you down there for hours. And she's like laughing about it. And it's like, no, my mom's never done that. That's traumatic. She's like, okay. But really, my discipline was very traumatic. And I try to like use what I remember from that on my nieces, and it didn't work well, it did and didn't. But then I didn't feel good after. Like, it was weird as fuck. It was weird. I prefer the relationships that I have with them now.
My relationship with them now is like not like damaged or anything. I never really.
No, you didn't do what I did. That's the problem.
Yeah, I never really, because my mother always explained to me with kids, she's like, one, you never try to discipline them when you're upset.
Yeah.
And she always told me, you know, if it does lead to you giving a little pow the hand, maybe the back of the leg, but never punch them in their back, their chest, their face, anywhere around the head area. Small children, you don't do stuff like that. And it pisses me off when you hear stories now of like how a child is found somewhere abused or whatever, a parent not taking care of them, starving them. That irks my soul because I'm like, yo, there's safe havens. Bring the baby back to the hospital.
Right.
Leave them at the police station or fire station. They will gladly take them.
See, I think, and I don't even know how we got, well, I know how we got here, but I think for people that do that, it's because of the record that's going to be attached to them. Like, this was your mother, she gave you up for adoption. Like, there's a track record now.
It's either that or I end up in jail because my child, because of neglect.
Yeah.
It's I know that record, and the child may become old enough and say, well, why'd you
leave me?
Why'd you give me up for adoption? You never came looking for me. And, you know, sometimes I do question that, especially if, like, I understand the part of why the parent gave them up for adoption during a time in their life where there's someone else out there that actually gave you a better life than I ever could. And I know a child always needs a mother's love, but my love isn't enough to make sure that you have food in the fridge, if depending on what I'm going through. And it wasn't a safe environment for me. Maybe I was on drugs. Maybe I was, no knocking off anyone who's a stripper or a prostitute, but maybe that wasn't an environment I wanted my child in. And due to the circumstances, yes, I kept you, but it's not a good environment for me to raise a child where I'm never home because I have to work so much. And, this society, as much as they want women to have kids, they don't create a space for women to take care of that child. You want me to work, but you're not giving me mommy hours. So, unfortunately, I have to bring my kid with me, or, God forbid, leave the kid in the car because I have to go grab something. I'll, pick up something real quick to go hop in, and that is still viewed as neglect. So there's not a win-win situation. So I get the part of giving the child up for adoption, but I do understand where the child comes into question and when they become adult, but you never looked for me. Like, I would probably wonder, like, okay, the kid, when your baby was born, like, okay, the kid has to be 10. I do want to check on them and have a conversation with them. And that's if the parent left the door open for the child to find them. Because there's the closed adoption. Like, I don't want to ever find this kid. I don't want this kid to find me. You can tell them they're adopted, but eventually. But I don't want them finding me.
That is so... there's reasons and there's like...
there's layers of it.
There's layers as to why people would do that. Like, why would they opt to never be found? But I think it's such a disadvantage to the person because, like, they got to worry about their dating history. They got to worry about their health. They don't have nothing to track anything important to them. So they don't have any medical records. They don't have any medical history with the family because they don't know who their family is. Mm-hmm. Dating could be scary as hell.
What if I'm dating my brother? Like, that's weird. You know what I mean?
So weird.
And I get the layer part. Like, that's why I tell people, like, adoption, we don't know why the person gave the child up for adoption. God forbid, what if that child was a result from a rape? Mm-hmm. Maybe the woman doesn't want to be reminded of that and want to give their child a better life. Like, I didn't want to abort you. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to let you live and give you a better life by giving you to a family that actually wants you and can take better care of you than I could, because this child was forced upon me. I didn't willingly have this child. Someone raped me, and now I have this child. And that's why we say there's so many layers as to why someone may give someone up for adoption, and the child in question may ask questions. Yeah. Like, did my parent love me?
Anybody.
That's anybody. Yeah, that's anybody.
I'm still looking for answers to, like, just my ancestry and, like, my history, my culture's history, and what that looks like for my family, and how did that impact my family, and where do we fall in that line? Like, there's so many, like, unanswered questions that I have regarding, like, my culture and its history.
I think with a lot of people of color, especially Black people, there's always some type of level of mystery because there's paperwork that was never filed. Mm-hmm. We were stolen from land and brought over here and given somebody else's last freaking name. And the only paperwork you may have, white man's paperwork, is just literally like what you were viewed as on a ship. And if your family, you are a number, and you're just the last name of the slave master.
Not realizing you came from a tribe, you came from a little small continent, country, island, somewhere, anywhere.
Who knows? You probably came from royalty. You don't freaking know because your ancestors were.
You probably have so much money just waiting for you to claim.
Girl, who knows?
You could have been a king or queen.
I might be a princess somewhere in Africa and didn't even know it. Y'all, I need to do some ancestry check. But no,
I definitely want to do that.
I do. But, typically we always go off topic, but oh well.
Yes.
That's how our brain works.
Exactly. So I wanted to ask you, because I know I'm a better person now that I'm an aunt, but what has being an aunt, like, taught you, or how has it contributed to the person that you are?
Oh, I can give them back to their parents. I'm just fucking with you. Give them back to their parents, yes. But, kind of gives me a little realm of kinda what it's like to be a parent to an extent.
Yeah.
Especially when the child is left with me for a long period of time, the child's crying, I don't know what's wrong, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, type of thing. And you know, give me a perspective. Each kid is different. Like all my nieces and nephews, they're all fucking different. There's one that's super shy, super quiet, that's super clingy to the mom. There's the one that's a social butterfly and will talk to anyone. So that's the one you gotta keep a close eye on because you're not getting snatched up, child. And there's some that are like in between. And there's one that like my great nephew, he is the destroyer. I'm like, yo, you're like your mother. Like anything he touches, he feels like he has to break it.
Which is so weird for a first child. First children are usually the reason why. The second one comes in because you think it's a breeze, and the second one's just come here to destroy your life.
No, I feel like the second one be a breeze. Who knows? He's really chill, but
no. Historically, yes, but in your scenario,
it's the opposite.
Yeah,
because it seems like with him, he's like he's aware he has a baby brother. He's like baby brother or baby brother Myers. If the baby's crying, if I'm downstairs, he's like, babe. He doesn't call me auntie, so he goes, babe, help. Baby's crying. And I was like, is everything okay? My niece was like, yeah, he's fine. He just pooped. Or he'll tell me like, baby pooped. Baby brother pooped. He doo-doo. I'm like, okay, that's good. Every chance he gets, he'll come and kiss his head. He'll try to, he's like, let me hold it. I'm like, you mean hold him? You gotta hold him. Your brother's not an it. Hold him. He'll hold him. And he'll try to squeeze him. I'm like, no. Don't squeeze him because you don't even know your own strength yet.
Yeah.
So he's aware. And, you know, I feel like he's going to be super protective of his little brother.
Oh, yes.
It's so sweet. Every chance he gets, he'll, like, kiss him. But he doesn't know how to play with him yet. The other day, he was pulling on his foot. I'm like, no, we're not doing that.
Dislocate his ankles.
Girl, I'm like, don't do that.
Bones haven't even formed yet.
Girl, I said, no. We're not going to play with his feet. Just give him a hug and give him a kiss. This is all we're going to do now until he gets bigger. Right now, no. I feel like each child is different in their own way.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time before the niece and nephew pack started getting bigger and bigger, when I had the funds, one time I took most of them to the movies. This was like 2009, 2010. I think the movie Up came. It was the sweetest little movie. I took like most of them in my car, and I think my oldest niece was driving too. I said, yo, bring your car. Put as much kids as you can in that car. I'll put as much kids
Load them up.
Load them up. And I have my little Honda Civic, my little red putt-putt. And we went to...
That car was clutchy.
Listen, we drove to the Randolph Theater. I told their parents, like, I'll pay for the ticket if they can give them extra funds for the food. So I try to do as much as I can, but right now funds are really low. So I can't really like be the rich auntie that I truly can be.
Yeah.
So
but see that's the flip that I've made over the years. It's like the rich auntie thing doesn't have to mean monetary.
Right.
So I used to do that with my first 3 nieces. I used to take them to the movies or whatever. Like not even, it would be like once or twice a year.
Yeah.
Like, and I would splurge. I would like, we go to the movies, get whatever snacks you want. I'm cool spending a cool $100 easily. And then we would grab something quick to eat after and go home, or I'll take them to the park or whatever. Because they loved being outside of the house. Because unfortunately, during the summertime, they didn't have a lot of like outdoor activities, so they would be in the house a lot. But I quickly realized it's expensive as hell. The more nieces that were being born,
and they get
I was
older.
like, it's so expensive. So I value experiences. So like for instance, I do it more with one specific niece only because, you know, like you said, they're all different. The youngest of my sister likes to be isolated, only comes when she needs you, which is fine with me because at least she knows that I'm someone she can come to. She likes to be with her friends. That's natural, whatever. The middle child, she's quick to like, let's go to brunch, let's do this, let's go out, let's like do all these things, and down for it. She's the one that pulled me out of the house when I broke up with my ex and lived alone for that period of time. She's the one that pushes me. The oldest is just a chill ass kid, like a breeze. Like, you want to go out? She'll be like, sure. Like, it's not a like, not any time for that. Like, there's no attitude. She's chill. Like, you would have to push her 6 feet down for her to fucking like blow up. But when she blows up, you're gonna regret that shit like immediately. So she's just a chill ass person. Like nothing like bothers her enough to be upset. Like she's always with the flow. She's always like the life of the party. She's just chill. So the oldest and the youngest only comes when they need something, and I'm totally okay with that. Like I never want to force a relationship with them. If I feel like I need to be around more, I'll do that, but for the most part, whatever. So I started doing this thing where I create memories as opposed to purchasing gifts. And I started that with my middle niece recently. I've been doing it with my god kids. I just create memories, whether it's like I have a thing with my god kids where we'll get dressed up, go to a really nice restaurant and treat them like little ladies. Like you order your own food, you speak up for yourself, you know what you want, we get dressed up, like treat yourself. I'm teaching them to treat themselves on my dime, but treat themselves. And I realized very quickly that they really value memories. They don't really care for the monetary stuff or the toys. That shit was dead long time ago.
I stopped buying toys years.
Yeah.
I stopped doing
years.
This past Christmas. I mean, since 2015, I stopped purchasing gifts for Christmas because one, it's expensive. And
people be ignorant. They be cleaning out the racks. There's nothing in the stores.
Right. And I get it. Some people, like, if they got it, they'll spend money. But me personally, like, I like the holiday because of the lights. I've always liked the light stuff when I was a kid. I still like it. But for me, I feel like as I got older, I realized I'm not about to go broke. Even if I had it like that, you want to be able to keep having it like that, right? To purchase things for one day. Like that one random holiday for everyone at once, where there's so many days throughout the year that I can purchase things for you. So like if a friend just moved into a house, like every place that Jessica moved into, even though she's like, oh no, you don't need to get me anything,
she always gets
I get her something for the new space because I'm like, it's a new space, so yeah, duh. So it's like new ventures. And you're graduating.
I have every last thing from every last apartment.
Like graduation, a new business venture, whatever it is, or if it's something I overheard you say, oh, you need it, I'll get it for you. Like my two great nephews, like randomly, if I go to TJ Maxx and I'm shopping for things for myself that I need, and I see, oh, this is something cute. Like last year, I bought this coat that was obviously a little bit too big for him at the time, but I bought it anyways. I'm like, kids grow, they're gonna grow. He's gonna grow into it. I got him a size 3T, but he wasn't even 2 yet, and this year he can fit it. Like, it's a size 3T, but he's so solid. He's a solid kid that he could fit it or whatever. I was in H&M and saw, like, 2 little baby outfits I had got my niece for the baby. This is before she had the baby or whatever. And I saw this cute little hoodie that says smile. It has all these smiley faces on. I got it for my nephew, and then my niece finally put it on, and he would not take it off. So he, like, enjoyed the gift. Like, I gave it to him. He's like, thank you, babe, or whatever. So it's like, I do things like that. So like you said, like create memories, create experiences. Yeah. Granted, those experiences can cost us a lot of money because the cost of living now has shot through the roof. But
like
you do what you can.
Yeah, lots of there's ways to do it. Like I've done picnics, like the worst picnic in the world. But I've done picnics. I've done. I think just making time for people is what I find to be more valuable than like the monetary stuff. But as far as like the question of being, what have your nieces and nephews taught you? I know for a fact if I was to have a kid, which I'll never, but if I was to have a kid, I would fucking be an amazing mom. Everyone tells me that. But I have 9 nieces and nephew that I can be that too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I like my personal time. I can just be the mom figure, I guess, to those kids. Because, like, you know and I know, we don't go to our moms for everything. We utilize our aunts. For me, unfortunately, all my aunts were, like, much older, and they don't play those games. It's very much like, we're not friends. I'm your aunt.
You know your place. You're the child, I'm the adult.
You are the children, okay? But I have close cousins that are like a little older that I can go to and have these conversations. So I'd rather just be available and ready for when my nieces and nephew need someone to talk to outside of their parents, or somebody older that's not their friend but is also not their parents. I want to be that person. I don't want to be a mom because I see what it's done. Unfortunately, I know you want kids. I've seen the lack of time that my friends have or don't have now becoming moms. I don't want that for myself. But as far as like, what have your nieces and nephews taught you? Like, what's something that you're like, yo, I want to take this experience from my niece and nephew and bring it into parenting when I do become a mom?
Aside from certain disciplines, because there's certain things that my siblings or their wives allow, and I'm like, no. I don't like that. I would never say could it be. It would never be.
Could it be me?
Because you don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because watch it be you. So
to be fair, my sister's going through that right now. She used to be like, oh, discipline when it came to my nieces. Now her daughter is literally running her up amok. And she'll be a month in a couple weeks. Now she's over here trying on chest carriers to see if she can actually do household chores while still holding her baby. And the baby's just like, we're not doing shit today. I have to show you a video of my niece looking at her mom like, you thought you was going to clean? I don't care what chest carrier you got. You're not cleaning today.
Oh, she's that type of baby. And every baby's different. I'm just hoping and praying that I have a smooth infant. I know they're fucking crazy and they do weird shit and probably won't get enough sleep. That's why I told Wilson, like, we're gonna slow it there with the one and see how this one goes first in my mental state. And I get it, each child is different. I am well aware of that. The first one may be amazing and the second one is a fucking terror.
That's how I remember it. But now that we're talking about it, because you said your nephew was like a little terror, I think when it's the first born girl, little angels all day, every day. And I literally having my first nephew since like 20 plus years. I have a great nephew, but as far as a nephew, it's gonna be my first nephew in 20 plus years. So I know for a fact when it's a firstborn girl, little angels. The second, it don't matter if it's a boy or a girl, it's the devil. So, and with your case, your nephew was born first and then he had a brother. So I feel like if it's a girl, which I pray for you to be a girl.
Yeah, I want a girl first, but who knows? I get the total opposite. But I don't know. Like, I know there's a lot of things you can prepare for, but you don't know what type of kid you're gonna have when they come out the womb. So you just pray for the best. Pray that you think your nieces and nephews gonna be mad you having a kid? No, actually, they actually like the older ones are like, "What's up? You gonna have a kid?" I'm like, "Oh, shut up! Like, leave me alone." But no, it's prepared me to, like, in a sense, like, oh, this is what it may be like. I never assumed this is what it's gonna be like because I don't know, but I do know, like, I don't know how your sisters were prior to having kids, but I know, like, for me, I'm so like, I like to be prepared for certain things so that when that unimaginable thing happens, I won't be prepared for it, but I won't be as stressed. Because kids are like a constant emergency. Because they're constantly doing things or something's constantly happening, like when they're sick or, you know, they're perfectly fine today and then they have 100-degree fever in the middle of the night type of shit, like you wasn't expecting. So it's like, I'm always big on, like, I know I can't prepare for everything, but I like my shit to be on point so that if I gotta run out the door with my kid, I can run out the door type of thing. You know how some they say first time parenting, they make commercials where the first time mom has like this big ass bag that has every fucking thing in it because you never know. And I laugh at it because my niece
now it's not even a bag anymore. It's like a little basket in the back of your car, back of your trunk, just ready for any emergency.
I think I would be that parent because just to have a little bit, because right now I have a basket in the back of my car just because, like, you know, wipes, windshield fluid, you never know. I have the thing to charge up the battery if the battery was to randomly die, type of thing. There's a random first aid kit that came with the car. Shout out to Lexus. I didn't know. It was sitting in the car. I'm like, oh, this comes with it. This is cute. But I already have like a little mini thing. Like, you've been in my car where it's like, oh, do you have napkins? I'm like, yeah, it's right in there. Oh, I have Band-Aids. Oh, I have like, you have time? Oh, yeah, it's in the little compartment here. I always like come prepared because I'm always driving. I'm always on the road, so why not be ready? So especially with kids, I feel like I'd rather be ready. And you know the Virgo in us, when people don't do things the way we would do, like, well, why wouldn't you already do that? I think you sent me a video clip of like, someone didn't do something that she's like, why would she do that? Doesn't she know, like, if she does it this way, this is how it's supposed to be done?
Oh, I'm that way when it comes to organization. Like, why is your cups to the far left? It makes no fucking sense. Like, the cabinets need to make sense, the structure, everything needs to make sense.
Listen.
And I will sit there for hours. Like, if I'm at somebody's house and I realize the plate where I think makes sense is not where it is supposed to be, the whole time, like, I wonder if I ask her if I can move it, will she be mad? Like, that's how I think. Like, I'm disgustingly, like, terrible when it comes to shit like that. So I just keep my mouth shut when I go to people's house. I'm like, everybody. Or, for instance, I house sat for someone and I moved some stuff around. It's like, did you move my things? And I was like, it just made more sense. Like, what the fuck? Why would you do that?
Yeah, I do that to my friends. I'll go to their house and kind of...
Don't touch my shit, bitch.
It looks better this way. And if we're close, I usually wash the dishes that's in the sink and put to the side. Jessica lets me wash her dishes, surprisingly. But yeah, I think like being an aunt, aside from like,
has prepped you to be a mom?
To an extent.
To become a mom?
Yeah. I've had kids slept over to a point where I was like, now I see you don't fucking sleep at night because you're constantly like, they're breathing.
Yeah.
Put my finger near their nose.
Yeah.
Washing their chest rise.
I be knocked out. I'm like, they got it. And
I'm
if
like,
they weren't breathing, they'd be coughing. I don't hear it.
No, there's some people could pass out in their sleep. That's the only thing that scares me.
That's why I give the under 3-year-old rule. Like, if they're under 3, I'm not watching them. Like, that's all you. Don't bring them to my house. I'm not watching them.
Under 1 is the scariest. I think the first year of life is the scariest part because that's the part where they can stop breathing, unfortunately, because of SIDS. Because they don't know why. But once they turn 2 or they turn 1, you're good to go.
No, it's just potty trained.
It's the acting daggone fool. And each kid is different though. Like my nephew, he's starting to get himself potty trained. Like he'll go to the bathroom or whatever. But when he does go, and number 2, he'll tell you, and he will not sit in it. Like my sister told me where she was getting ready to leave, and she was like, "Come on, Kaden, let's go." And he was like, doo-doo. The mother's like, "Stop playing with me," because sometimes he'll lie and say he pooped and he did. She's like, "No, we're going." He's like, like he's like, "I'm not sitting with this thing in my butt." And she checked. She's like, "Oh, he actually pooped." So she changed him and stuff. But yeah, I think it's prepared me to an extent of like motherhood, even though when you're aunt, you don't hold on to the child for too long, even though there's some aunts who've stepped up and had to take care of a niece and nephew because whatever situation may be going on with the parent or whatever. But for me,
I would do that.
Yeah, but for me, I never had to do that. I mean, the most they ever did was spend the night and stuff. So I make sure they bathed, make sure they ate, like we'll watch a little bit of TV. It's like, all right, time for bed, and they get ready for bed or whatever. But I mean, I had one that got sick while they were with me.
Care?
Yeah, she kept throwing up. I think she
noted.
I was like, "Oh wait, what did you eat?" She kept throwing up. I'm like, "Oh my god, I hate throw up. I hate the smell of throw up. I don't care if it's a kid or an adult. I hate throw up." And I'm like, Jesus Christ! I had to come get all this shit, clean it, throw it in the wash, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is. Are you okay?" Like trying to give her something. Let's go to the bathroom. It's like panicking because it's like, what's wrong with her? Why she keep throwing up? But she finally fell asleep once her mother got home or whatever. But I was like, Jesus Christ, the sheets were fucking destroyed.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
like, I need you to buy me new sheets.
Yeah, I'm think you're gonna have to come up on the bed sheets because it's a matching set, and I refuse to mismatch stuff. But yeah,
I like color blocking. It doesn't even matter. That's not relevant to this conversation.
Before we start talking about interior decorating, and then the mustard yellow.
It goes really well with like a stone gray. Fucking gray.
It actually does though.
No, it does because it gives you like that color. It can give you the illusion that it's like a brown.
Yep. Look at this. But no, I enjoy being an aunt. It's funny because sometimes I'll share on Facebook like, another year being the rich auntie holding on strong. Let's see 2023 will hold
on to that. And I told my nieces, because my mom's always uses this excuse. Well, if you don't have kids, who's going to take care of you when you're old? And I'll turn around and look at my nieces and they'll be like, we got you. As you should. And then my
sometimes some people have kids and the kid don't end up taking care of them anyways.
That part, because my sister's like, y'all wouldn't wipe my ass if I got old and I couldn't wipe my ass. My niece is like, I will get you a nurse aide. I am not wiping your ass. And I was like, I'll wipe your ass. And she was like, well, thank you, but no. Even my godkids, they were like, I was like, oh, I don't have any kids. Like, are you guys gonna take care of me? And they was like, we'll take care of you. I'm like, and then Didi, my best friend, was like, are y'all gonna take care of me? And they just looked at her like, what? The youngest one had to be like, yeah, I'll take care of you. The oldest one was like, you on your own. No. I only have space for one person, and that's my godmother. But, so, yeah, that whole part, like, every time my parents or any older relative tell me, like, oh, you need children because of this and this, they always have a reason, and I always have a rebuttal, and it always comes down to my nieces. they're clutch as fuck. They're like A1. They're the best things that ever happened to me. I would legitimately, like if I knew taking the sacrifice of a bullet, like and whatever, will allow my nieces to live, I'll take it without even like a thought. Or if I need to give up a lung, or not a lung, but any organ, I would do it without even like thinking twice about it. I'm like, oh, it's for my niece, like bet. That's not even a question. If it's something where I need to make major sacrifices so that they can live a long life, I'm just gonna do it without thought. Like it is what it is. Cause I know, I mean, I wouldn't let them, cause they have lives to live. But if it had to be reversed, they would do it in a heartbeat. So there's that.
That's cute.
You wouldn't do it?
I never said I wouldn't. But I'm saying that's cute. I didn't know I had to respond to that now.
No, but you could have said like, yeah, no, that's not me, or yeah, that is me.
I'm in the middle, but I know for like I really feel strong about it when it comes to like my parents.
About giving up. I wouldn't do that for my mom.
No, I don't know about giving up organs, but like,
I wouldn't do anything for my parents. And it's not even to say like, oh, they
it's the way you said it. You're like, I wouldn't do.
I would not take a bullet for my parents, and I would definitely not give up an organ for my parents. One, because they lived their life. Like, what is, like, you're old.
You must have been like, oh, okay.
I would have talked to her face. I'm not giving my organs to somebody older than me.
No, I wouldn't give my organs up to my...
I don't take a bullet.
I don't mind giving a blood transfusion. Like, you can still make blood.
Okay, that's different. I'm talking about something that would life-altering me. That would be life-altering to me. I wouldn't do it for my parents, and I'm definitely not doing it for my sisters and anybody older than me. Anybody older than me is not happening.
Damn, so I'm a year older than you. So
yeah, it's not happening. It's not. You've lived a life.
Only a year difference, y'all. Only.
And you lived a wise life. Shut up. The fuck?
No, but
you're gonna waste an organ on your parents?
No, I said I would. No, not my organs. I said I would. I would protect them in a sense. I don't know, like.
My mother would have slapped the shit out of me. She's like, girl, if you don't let me go, what are we doing here?
Well, I don't know. I just feel that closely with my parents. I'm not saying my nieces and nephews are not close enough to the extent that I wouldn't like.
You want to say for your children? Cheering.
Yeah, I would do the same. I mean, I would protect them the best way I can.
I think it's a little more difficult for you to answer that question because you want to have children.
Yes.
I know I'm not having kids. Like, I know that for a fact. I don't want it. So the next thing that I would sacrifice my life for would be my nieces and my godkids.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But anyways, y'all, you have anything else to add?
No. And
we're currently broke aunties at this time, but
yeah.
We still live in that.
But we're
life.
rich in the sense, like, I can get up at any time. No snotty kid knows kids in my face. I'm when they're hungry. Yeah. Like, I felt bad for y'all in the pandemic.
I could be broke by myself and not feel responsible for taking care of another human being.
And not be blamed for neglect. Like, right. Like, sometimes I forget to eat, and you can't do that with a kid.
That is always me, girl.
Like, you can't forget
I wait till I'm absolutely starving to be like, bitch, you haven't eaten all day.
So. There's this little meme that I saw, and it says... So the person driving and it said, the phone rings and it goes, hey, you forgot to pick me up? And the bear goes, who's this? And I'm cracking up because I said this to Wilson. I'm like, I pray this is never me. Because I went so long with no kids and it's like, oh yeah, I got to pick one up.
I got to actually remind myself to pick you up.
Like, it's like, you gonna pick me up? This bear goes, who's this? Can you imagine? Like, who's this?
I would have hung up and be like, I don't have parents.
I clearly don't. But it's like, we come from a generation when our parents call us, they say, hey, it's mom. Like, I know it's you. Hi, it's dad.
I'm well aware. Thanks.
I'm pretty sure at this age, at 36, I recognize your voice. Your voice has been recognized since I was in the womb.
I don't know why. My dad, oh my God. If I had my other phone, I would have played it. But my dad would be like, hello, this is your daddy. And I'm just like, sir.
Why do they do that? Like, both my parents.
Oh, he'll be like, hello, firstborn, this is your father. And I'm just like, okay, get to the point. What do you need?
And it's crazy. Like, my siblings, if they were to call me, they don't tell me who they are. I know who they are. But our parents will tell us.
My mom is that way. I think both your parents are that way. My dad is that way. But my mom will be like, When she's with me, she's like, call me back. And that's all. And she'll just hang
Really?
up. Call me back.
Yeah, both my parents are like, my mom be like, it's mommy. No, God, for Christ's sakes, who else would it be? Who is this woman that the same voice I've heard since I don't know how long? Literally. And
since conception,
who could you be calling my phone at the most randomest hours? Like, what? Your parents pick the most randomest hours to call you anyways.
They don't have slang to switch out that phrase, though. Like, with me, I'm like, hey, girl. Like, they're not about to call you and be like, hey, girl.
No, I'm not expecting this, but if they just left a message like,
baby,
hey, call me back. I'm not, because you're telling me to say it, it's not going to happen.
No, in the accent, not in the language. She's such a big Asian.
She would literally be like, if they were to say, hey, call me back, you know. But a lot of people, even those who are not foreign, like, I have friends who are American, they say, yeah, my mother will call me like, hey, it's mom. Duh. I have your phone number and I know your voice. Who could it be? And I asked my mom that every single time she'd call. Like, say for example, she called like at 1, but I didn't get to call her until like 7, but she calls back in. Hey, it's your mother again. I know it's you. I just been busy. I don't understand that concept. But anywho, we enjoy being rich aunties, even though richness for me in my mind doesn't necessarily mean money.
Broke people.
Because we are broke.
Broke people say it's not rich in monetary value, it's rich in life.
Yep. And that's
but when I have money, I'm like, bitch, I'm rich.
Don't talk to me any which way. But no, in a sense, like, we're rich in a sense because we have time for ourselves. And I would possibly believe, like, even an auntie that probably only has just 1 kid could still have that rich lifestyle because your energy, in a sense.
I know so many friends who have 1 kid and cannot manage time.
What, 1 kid?
1 kid.
Could it be me?
But some of them are single moms.
Okay, that's different because you don't have someone to share the load. You don't have someone to share the load with, and that's different as opposed to when you have a partner there. That's able to be there and willing to be there.
And even then, that second hand is still not enough. You need a village to help you.
To raise the kid. And nowadays, the village
Hence
still
me raising my nieces.
Nowadays, the village be busy too. So it's not like back in the day where most people are home.
Yes, it had like just a 9 to 5, something very simple, and can manage life with that 1 income.
Now it's ghetto. But yeah, it's in a sense like we have time to, like, even though sometimes we feel we don't have enough time or we're tired, but we still have time to do things like travel when we want, do things when we want. Because I could literally leave my house, like, I could text Jessica now and be like, yo, this Saturday, let's go out to eat. With a kid, you can't just be like, yo, let's go out to eat. You got to plan the specifics.
I'm planning a girls' weekend in June 23 right now. I started in September.
It's the Virgo in us. We will plan
shit. It's the one has 3 kids, the other one has 1 kid, and the other one has 3 jobs. So I need them to, like, the more time in advance that I give them, because it's no kids, it's kids free, husband free. It's just my high school friends. Shut the fuck up. It's a kids free, husband free, work free weekend. Like, we're not doing this. Leave your kids with their daddies. Figure it out. So I'm giving them almost a year time
There's
to
no
plan.
excuse at this point. Ladies, you hear that. There's no excuse. Y'all better tell them baby daddies, them husbands to fall in line.
Right.
Because when they be going out with their boys, there's no question.
Whole video that was like, oh, women always want to remind you every time they're about to go out with their girls. It's like, I just want to let you know it's Keisha's birthday in 1 month.
Because niggas, they gonna forget.
Wait. It's Keisha's birthday in 1 month and we're going out. And he's like, okay. It's 1 month away. Like, I don't give a fuck. 2 weeks before I just reminded you that he's like, yeah, Keisha's birthday is 2 weeks. I don't give a fuck. You had it on the fucking refrigerator. I seen it. And then the day of, she's getting ready in the mirror. And he's like, where you about to go? She's like, don't fucking start with me. Don't fucking start with me. I told you it was Keisha's birthday. He's like, yeah, Keisha's birthday. Who's all going? And then she was like, it's Keisha's birthday, so Keisha. And then she's going down the list of names. He's like, oh, hell no. He's like, Kim's going, everybody's sucking dick. Like, you know what I mean? Because you know it's that one friend that they always hate. Mm-hmm. Yo, when I tell you, that shit had me in fucking tears. Listen. So yeah, their daddies better get in line. I'm about to send all of them a text.
Send them save the date type of thing.
Yep.
Send a postcard, send an email, send a pigeon if you have to.
All of it. I'm being prepared. I'm being smart because I know, like, managing care for your children is a task in itself. So get it together. Get it together.
Not you burning them on the podcast. But anywho, thanks y'all for dropping by and listening in on this week's episode. We appreciate y'all support. Please follow us, like, subscribe, leave a comment, a suggestion, whatever Jessica be saying.
I've been saying it every fucking episode.
Whatever. You know.
Please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you don't miss it on any episodes. And if you're listening to us,
I missed the bell notification.
And if you're listening to us or listening to this episode and you haven't already, please leave a comment so that we can read and get better. Okay, guys, that's all. We'll talk to you later. Bye.